So we're live here with probably our most prolific writer, maybe, certainly in terms of music, Rob Lefebvre.
Oh, okay. Now
also in a band himself, Boogie Shoes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Boogie Shoes.
Oh, man. Well, we're like the disco premier dance band of Anchorage in Alaska. So we do disco in 80s and 90s and whatever gets people dancing. And we started about 8 years ago, as we were playing in like a modern rock kind of style. And we would go and play around town, and people would just kind of sit there and like nod their head, and it was boring. And then we're like, okay, so what are we going to play that'll get people up and moving? And I said, let's try disco. And we lost our drummer immediately. He's like, F disco, I'm out here. And so we found some other people. We auditioned Becca Halat, who's our current singer right now. She answered a Craigslist ad, came to my garage wearing a disco outfit, and just nailed it and sang her heart out. And she's amazing. She's a great performer.
So it's all covers you guys do?
It's all covers, yeah. I mean, we have some originals we play.
Is it all classified as disco, or do you kind of get those?
We started all disco. I mean, but now we've kind of got like our disco set and our 80s set, and then we throw in some new stuff,
All right.
Katy Perry, Taylor Swift.
That's what
whatever makes people dance.
Well, so what if you're going to gig in Anchorage, do you need to do a lot of, what do you need to do to succeed gigging in Anchorage?
Succeed. What's the definition of succeeding, though? So if you want to get paid, I think you got to do covers.
Okay.
You got to at least be able to put out, play for 4 hours at a bar, play mostly music people recognize, and be able to do that often. And that's hard in this town. There's probably, let's say, 3 or 4 big cover bands. You got like Robots, you got H3, you got Danger Money starting to kind of come into their own, and Agents of Chaos. There's about that many cover bands in town. So that's a little bit of competition.
We should have a tournament.
We should have the battle of the cover bands.
And just have it like head to head.
Yeah.
Audience votes. One's eliminated. One has to move to the valley.
Or Eagle River.
Eagle River.
That would be even worse.
I hear that's a shithole.
Yeah, so getting paid is all about covers bands, because, if you're an original band, you might have an hour of music, and you'll go on a night at Coots or whatever with 5 bands, and you're not going to make any money at that.
Yeah.
You're just not.
All right, and so you do all kinds of writing. You like tech writing, you video games, stuff like that. What all do you write about?
I write it in Gadget most of the mornings about tech and video games and iPhones and Macs and stuff like that. And then so I started in the video game. I just wanted free video games, back in the early 2000s, and people, they'd send them to you if you reviewed them. So I just started kind of writing about it to get them, and kind of turned that into like a mobile iOS sort of beat, where I worked at a couple of sites that only dealt with Apple apps and games and things like that. Started my own site, got hired on as an editor, and just slowly moved into being able to write full time. So
you're able to just kind of gig with writing and gig with music.
Mm-hmm. And I do some graphic design for the real estate book to make sure that they're just make sure I get enough money to pay the bills.
Sure.
Because writing's not high up on the scale of making money.
Right. So what do you got coming up? What's exciting in the local music scene? Or
this last week was really pretty cool. I got to talk to the guy from Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Mm-hmm. He was amazing. He was like 70 years old, full of energy, excited about coming to Alaska and singing for everybody. So that was a really neat interview. But this week I talked to the 2 piano battle guys, Andreas and Paul, and so they're in Berlin, and so like it was 10 p.m. for them, and it was like noon here, and so we just talked on Skype and chatted about their weird sort of like fighting piano style. Apparently they got together, so they both got booked in Hong Kong like 10 years ago. Booked in Hong Kong, but they wouldn't book them 2 German piano players on separate nights. So they said, you guys need to play on the same night. And they got together and they started playing, and they realized they hated each other's style.
No.
They couldn't stand it. But somehow they turned that into this sort of, jokey back and forth. I'm the better piano player. No, I'm the better piano player. So they're going to do this whole shtick on the stage.
But they're genuinely competing with each other.
Yeah, and so the audience has to vote. So one guy will play a piece, and the other guy, then they'll like vote the audience. I don't know how they do it. I think they clap and cheer.
This is a concert association?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to say that's next week is when they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. The other thing, I'm going to talk to Jack Tobin about his hip hop.
That sounds crazy.
His hip hop
I gotta
band.
see this band.
It's really good. I was listening to some of the music. I'm kind of impressed.
You've never seen them live?
No.
Okay.
Their name is what? Decepticide or I don't know. It sounds like a metal band, right? I'm like, ugh, I'm going to have to listen to them. But I listened to them and they're really good. They're really good.
And I don't know if you've done some writing about some of the burlesque shows. That seems like something that's really taking off. And RJ,
there's a show tonight, actually.
Is there? Or
Frosty's at Hard Rock. Yeah.
I was talking with RJ. It was some clever thing. I don't remember it entirely, but what's the device to do? Is it something historical or what do they do? Oh, no, they were going to play out a whole like a series of like a romance played out in burlesque. This is in conjunction with
like Valentine's Day or something.
What's the kink place?
Oh, the ACAL. Yeah.
ACAL. They were going to do this. I should pay better attention sometimes. But it seemed like a really cool device.
The ACAL has the show. So like every Saturday night, they've got kind of this erotic art show that goes on, and it varies from racy to pretty tame. But they're trying to get more of that, like get the vanilla normal people in there. And,
it's kind of have stories.
Yeah, because I don't know if you can make rent just on kinky people in Anchorage. It's a small community.
It's true, and there's only so much they can do. Well, who are you watching that's kind of an up and coming band that might be interesting?
Oh, Medium Build.
What's that?
Those are they're amazing. They're this crazy sort of I don't know. It's all indie rock kind of stuff, but the guitarist, keyboard player, I think his name is James Glades, and so he's this producer, and so he's kind of got this weird electronica sound going on in the background, a lot of rock and roll stuff, and this singer-songwriter who's at the front who's just a trip. So we went to see Modern Savage a couple weeks ago, and this was the opening band, and the guy shows up on stage, and he's got this long blonde wig on, and he's got all these clothes on, and through the whole they must have played 45 minutes or so. He slowly would like take off a piece of clothing and start the next song. And he went in the back and changed his wig and sort of looked short bob this time. And it's just weird, like visually, but his songs are really good. They're solid songwriting. It's it's all about emotions and thoughts and things that you might have as a person.
You might.
They're not like love songs or rock ballads.
Kind of just generic.
It's really good Indian
observation.
Yeah, some good stuff, and he's got a really interesting singing style. It's a little off kilter, and his stage presence is a little off kilter, which is super fun to see. So,
a couple weeks ago, you had a nice column about basically born out of binge watching Star Wars on New Year's Day. What's your take on the latest? Are you able to relate to it the same way you did?
It's different as an adult, right?
The product's being different.
Yeah, totally. But I think it's grown with technology and production. I mean, it's an amazing movie. It's full of cool special effects, and the acting's good, and the story's it's just as goofy as the first ones were. There's the hero's journey and all of people shooting things and battles and. As a 9-year-old, that's awesome. As an adult, it's like comic book fare. There's not a lot of depth to it.
I haven't seen the most recent one, but I saw the one before that. I don't even remember the names. This is The Last Jedi. The one before that was...
So this one was The Last Jedi. The first one was The Force Awakens.
That sounds right. So I saw that one, and I kind of realized they kind of cleaned up a lot of the kind of cliche or the cheesy dialogue that would always be there. And then I realized that was what I missed.
Right.
I was like, this is actually better dialogue, better written, better story.
Better acted.
But, and then I kind of lost interest. I was
I don't know. Because like as a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old, Star Wars was realistic. Like, you would imagine these things and it could happen, right? This is happening out there. And I think the better special effects, the better writing, the better stories, I think still kind of lets even adult, sit there and go, this is pretty realistic. If, we were in space, flying spaceships around.
Long time ago.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I like the new ones.
All right. Well, good deal. So when do we get to see Boogie Shoes again?
Humpies on the 26th.
That'll be...
was that next week? Next
Friday.
Friday, yeah. Yeah, so we'll be there all night. Come on by. Have a couple of beers and bring your boogie shoes.
Boogie shoes. And pink pants.
Yeah, amen.
Right.
Pink pants, drink free. You heard it here
I'll
first.
buy you a beer.
There you go. All right, well, thanks a bunch, Rob. Say it 5 times fast.
Pod People Press Cast.
Pod People Press Cast.
Pod People Press Cast.
Pod
People Press Cast.
Pod People
Pod People Press Cast.
All right.
It's horrible.
We've got to figure it out. All right. Thanks again, Rob.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Keep
it.
real.